Hey, welcome back to the DVD Bunker. I'm your host, Brian. With me, as always, is Matt.
How's it going, Brian?
It's going excellent.
Awesome.
We just had a great off-camera discussion to get our blood worked up, right? So now we're going to do a bang-up show.
Yep, we're excited.
So if this is your first time joining us, this is a show where we go through the movies of my personal DVD collection, and we try to see how well they hold up. Maybe I don't remember them so well because it's been a long time since I watched them, or I just want to look at them through new eyes. But either way, we're going to assess them in the modern era.
Yeah.
So today's pick is a little movie from 2005 called Feast.
Absolutely.
I was doing maybe some of you listened to, this was a couple weeks ago, we're at a little, we record and there's a little delay, but I recently recorded a podcast with a buddy of mine, Morgan Robinson, on his podcast, The Horror House Pod.
Oh, yeah.
And we did a self-aware horror movies, and this I brought up as kind of an honorable mention. And once I talked about it, I was like, okay, now I want to watch it. And I realized doing that we hadn't done a legitimate horror movie,
which is right. When you said that, I was like, oh, you're right.
We've done a couple thrillers, and there's been ones that had gore and kills and death in them, but this is the first legitimate. This is a movie where people get trapped in a bar, there's monsters outside, and they're just getting picked off in crazy ways, so...
They're hungry, your dinner.
Exactly. Is that the tagline?
Staring me in the face
That's
here.
excellent. That's a good one. But yeah, and the reason this came up is because it does play with some horror movie cliches and has some kind of self-referential moments, but it's also, as I remember, a pretty decent, straightforward horror movie on top of that, too.
Okay, cool.
So but like I said, it's been a long time since I watched it. That's the whole point of the show, to go back. I don't think there's anything else I need to say about it.
No.
I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love horror movies, and I haven't seen this one, so I'm really pumped, actually. So, maybe let's go watch Feast then.
Yeah, let's have a feast. A feast.
All right.
That's terrible. That's fucking terrible. So we're back from watching Feast, and back quicker than usual, but a short one.
Sweet.
Tight though, a tight horror movie. They trim the fat. This is just the good bits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I honestly found myself a couple times wishing they had extended some parts. Some funny parts. I was like, that's
right.
really good.
You never have to worry about them extending the gore sequences.
No.
That's plenty of that. If they cut anything, it was humor.
It's
but
true.
This is almost borderline a horror comedy, I would say.
Yeah.
It's pretty close because almost any time they're not getting attacked, they're doing some jokes. They're getting some quips in and stuff. So,
definitely horror comedy, I would say.
Yeah. But, so, to get started, how do you feel about the style of the movie?
I mean, I like it, I guess. I don't know where this bar is weird, is the weirdest bar. The hours of this bar, by the way, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. So this bar is open a lot, and it's just seemingly out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's exactly a classic horror movie where it's a building that, no customer base for this. There's no way. How far do the people who were there have to come? Because there's not another building, invisible sight. This
is a bar that was inherited. I don't think anybody purchased this.
Nobody bought this place. No. This is where the highway was before the highway got built, and now this is some side road. But so we start out with intros to all our characters, and this is what I was talking about the style. We do. Every character gets a freeze frame and a little bio.
Oh, the beginning, yeah.
Right, with name, occupation, and then chances of survival, right?
Yeah,
is the
which
last
is great.
thing.
Little red
which is
herrings.
Cool. So we're right into some very tongue-in-cheek stuff right at the beginning because it's little quips and little the kid in the wheelchair. They wouldn't kill that. Would kill him, would we? And so it's all everybody gets a little bit like that. So you have let's just run down real quick all the different. You have town dumb guy. They call him Bozo.
You got Bozo.
Nobody's got a real name.
Nobody has a name. That's
because
awesome.
They don't ever interact with each other beyond hey, something's coming, and so there's no time to learn names. It's I like that about it. So everybody gets kind of a moniker. You got Harley Mom, who's a biker chick. Hot Wheels, the kid in the wheelchair we were talking about. Coach, who's a motivational speaker, played by
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins,
Oh
absolutely.
my God. Excellently played by
Right,
Henry Rollins.
and a great kind of like, because he's a very not Henry Rollins type character. He's super positive and like, hey, motivational at times in the movie. You got Grandma, who's just like old drunk lady at the bar.
Yeah.
Right. Jason Mewes playing himself.
Yeah, he actually plays.
It's just like Jason Mewes,
He's the only one
actor.
with a name, actually. Yeah.
Right, yeah, Jason Mewes, actor. So yeah, he gets a name.
The vet, you got the vet.
The vet. Beer guy, who's Judah Friedlander from
Judah
30
Friedlander.
Rock.
Which I want to get into this real quick. He hangs around for a long time for the beer guy. Like, he shows up, delivers the beer. They're like, thanks for the beer. Then before shit happens, there's like a good 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, there's all this intro where they're doing it's like they keep him around an unnecessary amount of time. He goes back, he's like back there smoking a joint or something.
Like, smoking a joint. It's like, get on the road, smoke that joint on the road.
Exactly, get back to your beer truck and don't smoke it in this establishment, stupid ass.
Oh, and then he's like hanging out in the cooler doing stuff later. It's like, you delivered the beer, get out of there.
Yeah, your job is done, my man. But the whole beginning here is just like there's a lot of characters. It's like an overcrowding, but that's in a good horror movie, that's body count.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that we have, but they did take the time, and I like that instead of making this movie over an hour and 20 minutes and giving these people like a little bit more backstory, they just were like, boom, here it is, here's all you need to know, because this is a horror movie, these are the cliches, these are the stereotypes, here they are.
And it works for the comedy too, because they do callbacks to it later on too, so it's a good, I like that choice. And
so we got Beer Guy, who I will be calling Judah throughout, because that's just how I know him, and it's easier than Beer Guy. Bartender, who is noted, it's the director's father as a part. His name is Clu Gulager.
Yeah.
And he played like in old westerns and stuff. And he even has a line in the movie where he's like, they ask him just something about shooting, and he's like, I'm not Billy the Kid. And I think there was a movie where he played Billy the Kid. So I didn't do enough research. Go look that up, kids.
I like to think that he always is telling his son he's like a failure, and then he got this thing, and he's like, I'm gonna put my dad in this movie just to make him. And still, even afterwards, he's like, that movie didn't make any money. It was a fucking.
Way to squander your Project Greenlight. You had the biggest chance of your life. What'd you do with it?
He just shits on
piece of crap. Give me another beer. Why do I still have to get you beers?
10 years
I'm a grown man. That's the real horror of this movie right there. That story that's way darker than anything in this film. You've got Tuffy and her son Cody. So she's like the barmaid, and she's got a kid and they like live in the upstairs of the bar, and she's banging the boss to live there and work
boss
there.
Man.
Boss man, who's basically just that's it. He's the guy who owns the bar. I like to think of him as the character from Maximum Overdrive who called everybody Bubba. It's like, didn't ever bother to learn any names, just called him Bubba. That's another movie where it's great, like, I don't care about your name. Like, you're Bubba, he's Bubba, she's Bubba, everybody Bubba.
And one of the heroes, don't forget the perfect girl, whatever her name is.
Honey Pie.
Honey Pie,
yeah, that's her name, and Boss Man Honey Pie. I think we got everybody.
That's just about everybody.
But we have a little 10-minute segment here at the very beginning of just a little bit of character development.
Yeah, not much.
Not too much. Which, looking back after you've watched the film, you're like, why did they spend so much time on character development? Because the rest of the movie is just like, like I said, a scene of characters joking, death, monster. You know what I mean? It's a very quick succession, then boom, hour and 20 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like we're like there's no time wasted here.
Yeah, you're right, because I remember I did the timing and on the old man's card it says he dies in a spectacular fashion 70 minutes in, which was correct.
Right.
And that was at maybe 14 minutes into the movie or 4 minutes in the movie, and it was 10 minutes in the movie where at the monster part.
Exactly,
So they're perfect.
So like I said, they use that, the little title card thing, that kind of thing. It's all in how you use it, you know, because there's a lot of this movie does have a very stylized kind of like early 2000s shaky cam, and that's but not. I don't think it's used. I think it's used appropriately, especially in this genre, because it's all about the monsters breaking in and kind of the like energetic nature of everything that's happening. So I think it's used appropriately. But so everybody's established, right? And then we have our hero character like burst in, covered in blood, a shotgun, and he's got one of the monster's heads. Big, just ugly head.
Yeah, it's the same.
No, it's pretty, monster. And he gives the whole speech about there's monsters coming, they look like this and that and the other. We need to barricade this place up. Who are you? I'm the man here to save your life. And then instantly murdered, like drug out the window, head ripped off, blood sprays all over the pretty girl. Yeah, it's like
that was a great moment. They spray blood. They cut back and forth to that guy being headless.
This is not
and blood spray on that lady.
Yeah,
so many.
And it's not the only time in the movie where it's a comical amount of blood or fluid spray. And I think that's great about this too. Like they literally lean into the over the top nature of it. All right, so this is the first point. Now they've decided they're going to like formulate a plan.
Yeah.
The monsters are breaking down the structural integrity. They're coming through the walls. They're coming through the floors. So they come up with the idea they're going to try to distract them with some meat. They're going to use one of the bodies, and two other people are going to run out and try and get a truck. They say they think they got a truck that can fit everybody. It's like a pickup. They're going to squeeze everybody in.
Yeah.
So they've used Harley Mom's body, who she bled out from her leg being chopped off, and they strap like some homemade explosives to her. They're using like gas, alcohol ammonia, and cans of whatever. Who knows? They know how to make it. I don't care. I don't question it.
They all immediately know. There's just like a little bit of chat. The Big Wheels guy knows he's Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. There you go. He's got a little anarchist cookbook going or something. So they get her rigged up, and just before they're about to use her as bait, she wakes up. You realize she's not dead. And it's Bozo, the dumb guy, and the boss man, and he's just like, no. They're like, oh my god, she's alive. He's like, no, she's not. And he stops Bozo. Bozo was gonna help her, and just before he really has a chance, the two of the little baby things grab her and drag her off out into the and they're dragging her away from the house or from the bar. And again, you called them hump monsters, and that's again they take a second to have one of the little monsters hump her face. He
face fucks her to completion.
Right, and like I could have handled the face fucking, but they take the time to have her spray the white splooge out of her mouth and stuff. I was like,
that was upsetting. Like, when that happened, I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not a prude by any means. I can watch some horrendous graphic shit, and I had no problem with the violence. And like I said, I was like, when the face fucking happened, because it was funny, because it's that little weirdo puppet body, and it's all gross, and it's like, but then the fact that, then it jumps off, and she's all, and again, the fluids in this movie. If there's a fluid, there's a lot of it. There's no trickle in this
Ridiculous.
movie. She's like,
this little monster.
She sprays more. I don't mean to bring up aliens again, but she goes full Bishop at this point, and is just like spewing white bile out. It's disturbing.
It's like a liter.
Yeah. So I maybe could have done without that, but they do blow her up. They blow her up.
As this is happening, you're rooting for them to blow her up. You're like, hurry up and blow her.
Blow her up a couple seconds earlier, so she didn't have to suffer the indignity of getting face fucked by a tiny monster.
She's having the worst day. She got her leg ripped off. Then this is what she woke up to.
She woke up. She's strapped down. That might be the saddest death in the whole movie.
She's a mom. She's Harley mom. We don't
We never see her kid, but everybody else is so worried about their kids. We don't hear about Harley mom's Harley kid.
She doesn't really hang out with them that much, judging by the way she looks and everyone that hangs out in this bar.
They didn't say Harley good mom. That's not part of it.
Oh.
So now we get plan part 2, which I think is a pretty ingenious one. I like this plan better. The first plan was kind of standard horror movie, and in the vein of this film, it doesn't work. You can't use standard horror movie shit in this movie. This movie's different. We got a whole new set of rules here. So they set up kind of a Donkey Kong style thing where they use a ladder to let these kegs loose, and like as they open the door, the things are at the door, they open it, and they let loose the kegs, and it hits them, and they shoot them, and it blows them back.
Yeah.
And then they roll out a barrel, and the barrel has Honey Pie in it.
Yeah.
And old Honey Pie is going to get to the truck, and she's going to come and get him. And this is where we get why I bought this movie. If this movie was a total piece of garbage, but only had this moment in it, I would buy it. It was me talking about, I didn't spoil this movie when I was on Horror House Pod, but I can spoil it now because this is a spoiler show. We talk about our movies. So if you're watching this, spoiler alert. Spoiler
It's
alert.
still awesome. It's still awesome.
It's not a spoiler so
Yeah.
much as it's just a great moment. It's not like it affects the plot of the movie.
No.
It is just one of my all-time favorite things in a horror movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So Honey Pie gets out. They roll her out, and she sneaks out of the barrel. She goes over and she gets in the Coors Light truck, and they're like, "She's there. She's got it. It started." And she just tears off down the road and leaves their asses behind. And that is the most realistic thing I have ever seen. It is the best moment.
You never see her because she gets away.
She gets away. She survives. She makes it. Now, I feel like this is one of those things where, because of the style of movie this is, they might come back to this in the sequel. So
That'd be
again,
great.
if you're a fan of this franchise, talk to us on Twitter, at Hurst Killies, at The Drunksman, hashtag DVD Bunker. Should I watch Feast 2 and 3? Don't tell me the spoilers. Don't spoil it for me. Should
yes
I
or
watch
no.
these?
Yes
Yes
or
or no? Tell me.
But yeah, and I also love when during this moment that she can't get the car started, so like building this tension of her.
Yeah,
Like,
and all the people are in there like, "Oh, please get it started." Little do they know, she gets it started, they die.
I swear to God, she's giving her the finger too. And she drives out. And she's just like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
I like to think she had a little moment where she's like, I really want to go back and help these people, but like I physically just have to get the fuck. I've had so much shit.
I think she knew when she was in the barrel.
Yeah.
She's like, if I don't die, if I get out of the barrel alive and I get to that truck, I'm gone. I'm not
Fuck
going back.
it.
Fuck these people.
Yeah.
Because her whole thing, when you see her title card, is she's dying to get out of town. That's her
Yeah,
whole
that's why
deal.
she's
That's
an
her whole
actress.
character. And she even so much is like, in the little intro part where they're building character, is coming on to Henry Rollins. It's just like, you're not from around here. And you'll get the impression that's because she finds him so hot. It's just that
he's a way out.
she's like, "Are you from out of town? I will go with you to wherever you are from. Can we just go there?" Yeah. So yeah, we're having our big final kill-a-thon here.
Yeah.
They use a bear trap to take off one of their heads. I thought that was pretty cool.
Which you see him, and at this point we should say Bozo has sort of become the hero of the movie. Like, he's a bumbling idiot, but he gets it
He's
done.
transitioned, and
He's
like we said,
done
he
stuff.
kind of gets his hero turn when he stands up for Harley Mom. He doesn't save her, but he does kind of like, he doesn't feel good about what happens there.
And, but he's gone on multiple missions and survived and got the job done as best as they could have got
That's
it
true.
done. So he's kind of come out.
They do
better.
kind of play it like at the beginning. Is it gonna be like a mutiny? Is he gonna try to take over? And he doesn't. He kind of like just goes with the flow and does the right
he does
thing
what he says.
eventually.
And I like that they show him fucking around with that bear trap earlier. Like, this idiot.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do with that thing? And then later he grabs it and he puts it on that thing's head. It's pretty awesome.
And this is where we get like full on zombie Judah Friedlander.
This part
Just
is so awesome.
stumbles in and just gets his head splattered. It reminded me of, you remember the old Daily Show before Jon Stewart when they did the moment of Zen and they would have the guy
always just show
smashing
that
the
head,
guy.
and they would show it like over and over. But I will say, there's that scene before that where the old man, the bartender, gives him a Molotov and says, "I want you to light this and throw it." He says, "When we get out of here, I'll show you my buried treasure," or some bullshit. I forget where he says he's gonna show him. So you do see Judah Friedlander like walking around with this Molotov, like he's almost dead.
He's pretty much a full zombie at this point.
Yeah.
He's got maggots falling out of the hole where his eye got taken out. He's all gray and veiny. I mean, he's like a living corpse. He's all falling apart like Brundlefly. He's just like, just disgusting.
He's got maggots coming out of his eyes. Yeah.
So that when the monster smashes it, it does pop like a balloon and blood just everywhere.
It's perfect.
But I have to say, it was a little bit of a letdown. He hung around so long and like was kind of like gross and annoying through so much of the movie. To just have his head pop like a balloon like that was almost a little too quick for him. I wanted to see like a really, I mean, I guess he had suffered all up until that point, but I wanted his death to be equally horrific as all the other stuff they put him through. It felt like they were like building to the ultimate horrific death with him. Like everybody else got eaten by a monster kind of quickly, but he dragged on.
I was thinking of it the other way, that I thought there was going to be like a situation where he was ultimately going to be a survivor, because he's walking carrying that thing, like he looks like he's trying to light it, and he goes walk up that thing, and at that moment I thought he's gonna do something cool and like blast this thing and burn it up. And I was
or you know what I would have liked is in that moment to give him a little redemption when he splatters the head, if he'd have kind of like had the lighter lit and just held up the Molotov at the same time. So when the monster
I thought that was gonna
broke
happen,
the bottle and blew it all
Yeah.
up, and then it could have got the monster, but he would have died too. It would have been a good payoff.
Yeah.
But you know what? honestly, the budget was just probably wasn't there. They probably would have loved to have done something like that. I'm sure somebody was like, "Oh, let's do," and then there's probably a lot of things that had to be cut for financial reasons.
And I thought maybe that was another subversion that I was supposed to think that he was going to do something, and then them just taking all that away from me. It was just being like, "Oh, got you."
Either way, the head splat is not bad. It's an awesome head splat for sure. But like I said, I just would have liked to have seen something a little bit more. But I'm not taking anything away from it.
But this leads us to what is my favorite part of this movie, and I might say my favorite part of any movie I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Ever. Best villain death, best monster death, anything ever.
Well, and there's a moment in here, too, that you referenced kind of earlier that we have to hit on, too. So the last monster, Bozo and the bartender, the old man bartender, are helping pin it down, and Tuffy is just smashing it in the face with the butt of a shotgun. While they're holding it down, the old man has a heart attack, and that's the callback to he has a spectacular death at 70 minutes. It's like he survived all this time, and they're about to beat the final monster, and he has a heart attack.
But I was watching, and I knew it was coming. I was like, this guy's gonna die soon. Is this monster gonna kill him?
Something's gonna happen. What's gonna happen?
I love the guy go, a heart attack? Are you fucking kidding me? So great.
Yeah,
that was
it's
one
good.
of those moments that I really liked.
Another great subversion where it's just like, he lasted all that time. It's good.
But what we've learned at this point is you can't kill these monsters by bashing them in the face with a shotgun.
Or
you can only remove their teeth. You can only remove
She
their
couldn't
teeth.
seem to kill it with just blunt force trauma, but she was knocking out all its crazy fangs.
Which I don't remember what led up to this part because I was just kind of like watching and I didn't expect it to happen until we were in the middle. But he grabs like a Molotov cocktail, like he's going to.
Well, that's the thing. I think
later.
As the old man's having the heart attack, he hands him the Molotov cocktail.
And then how do we get to the part? From there, I was like, is he gonna hit that thing? Because there's 3 people like
they're right there. You don't want to light them up. Yeah.
It'd
be like us letting one off right here. But yeah, she doesn't give him the chance because she jams her whole arm up to the shoulder into the thing's mouth.
I love that it's such a good because she works it in like she's like choke on it, motherfucker.
She just keeps digging deeper,
like, and it can't hurt her. And I just love the like death rattle that you can hear. Just
gurgling
like, it's so. And she's just and you see the look of horror on that guy's face that trying to hit her. That thing, he's just
like, I guess we won't be needing this.
Like I would not have gotten in the car with that girl after that shit. I thought when she talks about going to get the kid and he says, what the fuck are you talking about? I thought really what that kid was like, she's not getting a fucking car.
What are you talking about? As in, don't let that psycho in the car with us.
And unfortunately she did not find her son down inside that monster.
No, she didn't pull a piece of little Cody out.
Maybe it was different. Maybe it was a different monster.
Maybe that wasn't the one that ate him. Well, and I was also thinking too, like whatever's inside those monsters turned Judah Friedlander into a zombie. So I don't know if I'd want to stick my hand down that thing's throat.
I was worried because it shows some kind of spray up on it. I was like, hey, watch that shit.
Careful, don't have an open wound on that hand.
Have fucking maggots coming out of your eye socket. Real fast.
So, I think we already know it compares pretty favorably to our memory. I mean, you never saw it, but I already, like...
This is my favorite thing about watching movies, is the movies I've never heard of. This is why I like to just watch anything, because sometimes you get these ones where it's like, I feel like I want to go buy Feast on the way home today. Right. I really like this movie
If I could find Feast.
This is right on my... This is the perfect genre mix for me. This is it. Horror comedy, and it's so good.
I agree. I think they hit their mark very well. So, any specific favorite things, favorite moments?
Like I said before, I don't want to beat it in when she fucking just the length of it, and I feel like you could watch this movie twice in a row. Just pick on how subtle some of the way they take these cliches of horror movies and throw them out the window, and they do it, and then they
either like emulate them perfectly or totally turn them. And they do both. And I think the movie takes time to do both of those things. And I think that's really funny.
And it's never dumb, really. I don't think. And it's never like so on the nose. And some of it you don't even notice. And it's just, I just liked it. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just that they edit it really tightly, or if it was all in the script like that. But either way, whatever the perfect storm that happened, they definitely produced something pretty good.
And I thought the people they did a good job. But yeah, definitely my favorite far and away. The fist down the throat and that girl getting blood sprayed on her twice, and just that moment with Judah Friedlander is that. There was a part where he was getting sick, and I was like, I really wish he would just go so how do I look, guys? Do I look okay? And then literally 20 minutes later, he's like talking to that girl. So is my eye looking better? Does it look
like
okay?
maggots falling out of it.
She's like, yeah, it's fine. And I thought, oh my god, my wish came true in the movie I was watching as I was watching it. So that was good. But what about you? What did you love about this movie?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to love about this movie for sure. There's a couple just small moments that I really like that they took time to do. Like, there's a really dumb moment where Honey Pie picks the gun up off of Harley Mom, and she doesn't know how to use it. And she like finds a bullet, and she's trying to like see if it's a bullet that fits her gun. She's like trying to stick it in the barrel, and it's just a dumb little like.
I thought someone was gonna
moment.
die there because I thought, well, we've already seen 3 or 4 people get shot by these.
Accidental
people,
shootings were hot in this one, for sure. I like the moment when they're trying to, like, they make a reference to how well they barricaded up, and they're like, you'd have to use a crowbar, and instantly the monsters start using human bones to pry. They're like smashing through with human bones and femurs and stuff, and like prying the doors and windows open. We definitely, I like the way the monsters were killed, but we missed one thing. I can't believe we didn't talk about it. It's when they go up. When the monster almost gets Bozo when they're upstairs trying to use the radio, they slam the door and they slam the monster's dick in the door. It's like a full-on like weirdo animal that kind of pointed, nasty, like skanky balls, and they like, they close it in the door and then they like shoot it off and it flies down the stairs and people are stomping on it and slipping and falling. It's like, it's as over the top and disgusting as it sounds. So I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
That's true, and I totally
forgot.
It's
as horrific as the woman with the monster jizz coming out of her mouth. They're equally horrifically gross.
Which I don't even know if we actually see monster dick in that scene. I think it's more of just a react. I bet you don't.
No, you don't. You see the monster humping her face from behind. Yeah. Full penetration would have been too much even for this movie. They're not going to show her full on filleting the baby monster.
I love that was the compromise they had to make. Like they were like, we can't show this like penetration on this lady. They're like, well, we made this fucking monster dick. We're gonna use it.
There's a whole episode of Project Greenlight where they're arguing about that.
What to do with
I want to show full-on penetration. No, we're not doing it.
And it's like his one scene of the show. He's like, just put in the fucking door or something. I don't know. Just slam in the door.
Slam in the door. Gets chopped off in the door.
He's in a hot tub with these ladies or something.
I love the idea that they call him up and he's like in a Corvette driving. He's like, and he's just like off the cuff, like, I don't know, slamming in a door or something. Hangs up, and then they're on set like, that's why he's got Oscar, baby.
He's like holding it in one hand and driving the other.
He cut to him and he
shifts his car.
And it's the
shifter on his
Oscar is the gear shift on his Corvette. And it's just so drives away like it's the French Riviera or something.
Yeah, he's a fucking can or some shit. I don't know, slamming the door or something.
Millionaire playboy Ben Affleck.
And David's in the passenger seat. And Affleck just starts browbeating for this stupid reality TV show.
Can't believe you talked me into this, man.
It's fucking Project Greenlight.
I talked you into this. You made me do Dogma. Fuck off.
Even for Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Oh man. All right, so going into character corner again. This is like a bottle movie, small cast. We kind of talked about them all, but is there anybody you want to like pay honorable mention to?
I think, and I'm going to go back to, our first episode. You brought up athlete actors and how they're kind of rough to do. I'm going to throw musician actor. Henry Rollins has more chops than Jim Brown, of course, in the acting. He's not an actor, though, per se.
He's had more roles than most, though. I would say, like, he's had more acting experience than... I mean, there's a lot of rock stars and rappers who have tried their hand at acting, and he kind of did it the way... He didn't, like, use his money to make a movie and put himself in it like some people do. He, came up in kind of a more natural... I mean, I'm sure he used connections that we don't have, but he didn't take big roles that he wasn't ready for.
No, but he's been around forever. But this is, I think, the way they use Henry Rollins is so perfect because the lines they give us got to read the cheesiest shit ever, and you know that he's gonna say them in a cheesy way anyway because he's kind of doing that acting thing where he's not really
right. Well, and he himself is a subversion in the movie where he's not playing the Henry Rollins tough guy. He's playing this kind of like self-help lovey-dovey, and he's trying to motivate everybody. And he's given the speeches. Like all the cool speeches are given to our hero and heroine characters, and he's given the motivational shit that you see in like hacky horror movies that like the cliche version. version of what they're doing.
Yeah, and I love that they never actually, the people in this movie don't know that he's a motivational speaker, and he gives these speeches about fighting the monsters that are things that you can tell he's pulling from his spiel he gives. But some of his lines are like, "It would be an honor to accompany you on your mission," or something. He says that lady, and then he does say something about the monsters, like it's a species versus species situation here, and he's talking about we need to frighten them. And
that's when he comes up with his plan to like hang the dead baby out the window. Yeah.
And he's giving this. It's totally like cheesy, but it is in a way like a speaker like that would be that guy.
Right.
So.
Well, and somebody like that who, if he was in a situation where everybody was kind of losing their mind, would naturally want to like just try to control it and take it over and be like, I'm gonna be, that's just his nature. And I think he played that pretty well.
Yeah, and when you see someone like those athletes, the problem is they take you out because you kind of tell they're acting. But this guy, it's okay that you can tell he's acting because he's pulling from that persona.
He's doing his stage show.
Which I think is why
the only thing he's missing is his little headset mic that he would be wearing when he was at the hotel conference room.
Yeah, exactly right. And I really wanted to like say Judah the whole movie, but really I just loved that Henry Rollins stuff so much that at the end this was the closest one for me. But yeah, Henry Rollins for me. Did you have any? Those were really the two main people I knew, so it was really
right. But they do have like, I think Judah gets a lot to do, and he has like a lot of the cool gross makeup he gets to wear, and he gets to like have a couple scenes where he's really, who he reminded me of is the guy in the wheelchair in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You just hate him so much, you just can't wait for him to die.
He lives way longer than that guy though, for sure. They gave it to you quick in Texas.
Yeah. That's because they knew you couldn't handle too much of that guy. They're like, oh.
He's at least bringing you comedy.
The only thing that keeps you from like wanting to full on murder that guy yourself is the fact that he's in a wheelchair. You're like, oh, I'm giving you a pass, but you're the worst. Just the worst. But no, I mean, the J. Mewes cameo is funny.
Yeah.
Just because it's so, he's out of there so quick and stuff.
He just dies instantly, yeah.
But I think everybody gives us serviceable performances, and they're all acting up to the level of this movie.
There's not anything tough really to do.
No.
And they all do a really good job. Like, there's not a lot of emotion or anything other than when her kid dies, but then she just kind of shakes a lot.
Right.
Really,
but then I like that they play into that, because when she gets her big, title card, the Heroin 2 title card, they're like, recently lost child, dealing with it fairly well. It's because she's, she has to. She doesn't.
She is out for like half the movie, though.
Yeah. She definitely. Well, that's because they're using the other heroin girl there. But they're setting up her that lovely. Oh, you lost a child. This person has a child.
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen. That would probably be the one thing in the movie that I thought was obvious.
Yeah.
That I felt like was a little heavy-handed was that setup. But it's all right. It doesn't
they
really.
would have said at the end when she says "Let's go get it," if they would have all just been like "fuck it" and then laughed like the kid wanted to, that would have been the way to get that
that last little twist in. Yeah. But hey, they do pretty well, so I'm not gonna take it away from them. So I think it's a foregone conclusion, right? Goodbye for sure.
Oh my god!
I mean, I bought this previously viewed from Blockbuster. It's the unrated cut, so maybe it's a little.
That's why we got
extra spray.
That it was about an extra 2 seconds of movie there that we got. Because
all that added footage is just fluids. I mean, all fluids.
I was there when the internet began. I've been to all the corners. That was one of the most visceral face blasts I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh. It's pretty grim.
But that, like I said, I wanted more of it in the movie. That was my main thing. There just wasn't enough of that. Yeah, but we might have to do a follow-up where we watch Feast 2. Like, maybe we'll do an episode where we'll see if it gets inclusion into the bunker. I'll rent it. I'll get it through Netflix. And then we'll watch it. And then if it's good, I'll buy it. I'll be obligated to buy it. It's going to be hard. This movie doesn't leave me necessarily wanting more of anything in this movie other than just the fun that it is. You know what I mean? It's good enough. Like, I enjoy it enough to warrant a sequel. But again, like we said, I wouldn't be sorry if I didn't get it, because this is a pretty much perfectly encapsulated. And sometimes less is more. Like, if you did a Feast 2 and it was just not even the same monsters, not even the same thing, but it was just crazy fun, a different kind of horror movie, and they just poke fun at us, I would like that. But I'm with you on that. We should do that for sure. Yeah. So, thanks for joining us again on the DVD Bunker.
like and subscribe, leave comments. Check us out on Twitter at Hercules.
At the Drunksman.
Hashtag DVD Bunker. Check out the other content on the Unofficial Fan Fights channel if you're not already watching Fan Friction or Odd Shape Panel. Look out for those. Also, possibly a new show upcoming, may have even premiered by now. We'll see. I want to give shout outs to all our friends, Jeannine and Austin, who help us with our graphics.
So wonderful.
Ron, Google Eyed Platypi, help us out with our music. And also a special shout out to Morgan Robinson at The Purple Dawn, at Horror House Pod. I was on his podcast. That helped inspire this episode.
Nice. Which, thank you, I guess, because it's like a butterfly effect. I now love
Now
this
you
movie.
have a movie that you love. So my appearance on that show. So if you haven't checked him out, The Purple Dawn. Man, that's a great name. Purple Dawn. I didn't meant to ask him when I was on the show. I'm going to have to find out about where that comes from.
I like to think it's an old Godfather
maybe.
reference.
Oh, maybe.
Let's hope so.
Oh, the Ho Train. It's a throwback. But
I'm not talking about the movie Godfather.
No, he's not. But go check out the episode that I was on and all the other episodes. There's another great movie I recommend. I kind of blew one of our DVD bunker choices. I'll have to wait now because I talked about it on his show. But I didn't spoil it like we will when I talk about it.
Okay, good stuff.
But anyway, check out all those things. Check us out. Thanks for coming. Anything else?
No, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.